Welcome to the North Carolina Association for Career and Technical Education. The NCACTE Raleigh Legislative Policy Seminar. It was held June 16th through 17th at the Legislative Building in Raleigh, North Carolina. Local educational agencies were sent to inform members of the North Carolina General Assembly about the importance of adequate funding for career and technical education. Here's members of the Cumberland County delegation visiting the Legislative Office Building.
Hi, I'm Malaya McCormick, and I'm on site at the NC Legislative Building in Raleigh, North Carolina, home of our state senators and House of Representatives. Today is NCACTE Legislative Policy Day, where educators of career and technical classes across North Carolina high schools and community college have gathered together. We are spreading the message of the importance of CTE in getting students career ready.
These are some guys from our programming and broadcasting program at Douglasburg High School.
I'm Chris.
I'm Donovan.
Hey, nice to meet you, Donovan.
And I'm Desmond.
Hey, nice to meet you, Desmond.
Nice to
And
meet
their
you,
teachers here, Pat Bernard.
I'm Daryl Nobles. Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Pat.
Carson Phipps.
Hey, nice to meet you, Carson. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, good. Well, I appreciate y'all stopping by. So, what's y'all's concern? What's going on here?
Well, we just want to say thanks. I mean, the General Assembly has been very good to us as far as giving us funding for credentials last school year, and then this school year we're hoping to receive that same amount of funding. That money goes towards certifications that we can purchase for the students, that they can be certified in business programs, they can be certified in culinary arts programs, information technology, CNA, A+, networking, many types of, portable credentials they can leave high school with. So you'll see on there that the state has increased, as of last fall, over 100,000 credentials earned by students in North Carolina. And then, of course, our senior students, and these fellows are going to be seniors next year, and they'll be taking the Work Keys assessment, which is that career readiness examination. And students that earn the the silver or higher level are considered career ready. So these students will be taking that exam in February. So anyway, just wanted to make sure you knew the message, that just a thanks for what you do for us, and just to make sure that you remember us, whenever bills come up. We just we're here to serve the students, and we want to make sure they're ready to go on to post-secondary education or college or work after they leave high school.
Understood. Well, again, it's not. There needs to be different strokes for different folks, especially not everybody is geared for a 4-year liberal arts degree or a 4-year aspects. I did civil engineering myself. I think it's very important to have a technical or a career ready aspects. I think it's very good. So I definitely appreciate what you guys do. That way we have options for all individuals, whatever professions they want to go into. That way it's not a one-size-fits-all for everybody, because again, like we said before, a 4-year degree is not necessarily suitable for all individuals, and I think that's something that should be praised.
Yeah.
Should be praised.
And we work very closely with Daryl at the community college on our programs, articulating to his programs, to the programs there, and making sure that they're getting a head start in high school. And lots of times the students can graduate from high school even with that community college credit.
We've got about 800 students at Fayetteville Tech that are high school students that are coming taking our courses and actually graduated. We had about 40, I think it was, that graduated with us in May. They were graduating with a certificate that they had earned before they even graduated from high school.
Understood. Well, again, besides this, please feel free to email our office with as much information as possible. That way we can represent all of these aspects in the best way possible. But I'll definitely read up on this. Feel free to reach out to us, and thank you all for taking the time to stop by. Again, I didn't want to interrupt what was going on there earlier. I stepped out for a few minutes, but I did want to have some time with you guys to hear what y'all.
And the reason we're here is because the CTE director for Pender County
can't be here.
He's not available to be here today. He had some other meeting that he had to be at. So we told him we'd stop by and at least speak to you.
Speak on his behalf.
We'll definitely relay to him that definitely would like the opportunity to speak with him sometime, so feel free to tell him to give him his call. My cell phone number is on the General Assembly website, so don't hesitate to reach out to me. So if you can relay that to him, that would be wonderful. Yep, great. It's so nice to meet you guys.
Right.
Hope you have a good trip up here and enjoy
Right.
your stay. Very nice to meet you guys, and y'all keep staying with it now.
All right.
Okay.
Take care, buddy.
Chip Lucas served as the NCACTE Legislative Committee Chair. He's also the Career and Technical Education Director in Cumberland County. We spoke with our Representative Rick Glazier from Cumberland County to find out more.
Exactly what message are you bringing to the General Assembly about career and technical education at the community college level?
At the community college level?
Yes, sir.
So for me, career and technical education is crucial. For most of the jobs that are going to be needed in the next decade or 2 decades are really students that have advanced certifications or 2-year degrees in career and technical education fields. And so while we want to encourage everyone to get as much education as they can, that's the big niche that needs to be filled, and therefore we've got to create policies here that provide that access and opportunity and encouragement for students.
Okay, and what ideas do you plan on bringing back to FTCC from the Legislative Policy Seminar to career and technical education?
Well, of course, I'm not in the seminar. I'm here, but so I'm listening to what you are bringing to me in information and staff and faculty are bringing to me. But I think that a couple things that have to happen are good increase in coordination between high schools and community colleges, and that's happening in terms of aligning their policies and making it an ease to get credits at community college when you're in high school for courses, and an ease in transition of credits to make sure that those things happen. I think the second thing is to make sure that, particularly when we have a lot of courses that are offered to high school students at the community college, that we make sure our scheduling is something that allows that to be easily done, and crossing schedules between community college schedule and 4x4 is not the easiest to do. So we want to make sure that's done. And third, I think, is just to encourage students at the high school level to really start planning in 9th grade or 8th grade what their career plans are, but also what their financial plan is for purposes of looking to access community college and if they want to go to 4-year universities. So financial aid and planning is part of that.
Okay, thank you for providing that for us. That's all I have today for you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
NCACTE Raleigh Legislative Policy Seminar had many objectives. First, to provide current information related to our state budget, legislation, and how career and technical education may be affected. Second, we educated NCACTE members about the NCACTE's legislative agenda and instructed members on how to promote our agenda while visiting the legislative building. Here some of the Cumberland County delegation are visiting with Representative Rick Glazier. Thirdly, we informed members of the North Carolina General Assembly about the importance of adequate funding for career and technical education. Fourthly, we sought to improve the process of building partnerships that will increase support for career and technical education. Here the TV broadcasting students are getting ready to interview another representative from our General Assembly.
Hi, my name is Taylor Cancer.
How are
I'm
you?
from Douglasfort High School in Fayetteville.
Right.
I just want to ask, why'd you come here? Like, what was your purpose of coming here?
To the General Assembly?
Yes.
Well, as you know, our district, our part of the state is poor, and we need jobs and we need economic development, and I want to work very hard for public education.
What's the purpose of participating in legislative policy?
Well, we want to work for the state of North Carolina. We want to make laws that benefit the majority of the people without doing harm to the minority. So we work very hard to do that, and things sometimes aren't always black and white, so it's a very difficult task, but we try to do our best.
How do you support CTE and critical education? Critical education.
Well, I support it through my votes. I advocate in my caucus with my fellow legislators, so I'm very supportive of it, and I have the evidence that of the benefits that it provides, so I shout at the rooftops about it.
Okay. Well, I think that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your interest in state policy, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Participation at this NCACTE Raleigh Legislative Policy Seminar sent an important message to our lawmakers.
Cumberland County Schools, if they will take
The morning.
career and technical education program.
Representative Floyd is on his way to the office shortly, so I would suggest if y'all don't mind, circle back by so he could meet you. What grade are you in?
We're seniors now.
Oh, you are? What school do you attend?
Douglasbury High School.
Okay, it's good to have y'all come down. And I do have Representative Visitor's book. And if you just sign that for me, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
And I've got some of his cards I'm going to give out to you.
Thank you.
Our offices are so big, we've got plenty
I know
of
that.
Okay.
This is this book that you can sign in.
Okay.
And then I'm going to get you all some cards and we'll pass them out to the students.
All
Y'all know
right.
how to get in touch with them.
Right. Right. We send him the
Today
newsletter.
is 17.
Right.
No, 18. What's today? The
It's
17th.
the 17th.
Yeah. Did y'all have a good trip down?
Oh, yeah, it's
Yes,
a little
ma'am.
bumpy ride, but it was nice.
It was bumpy?
Yeah.
On an
Because of the
activity
road.
bus.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. So y'all wanted to come down in SUVs with recliners, didn't you? But you got to realize the county gives a budget. Have y'all been on the internet to find out what the General Assembly does while they're down here?
A little bit, but not that much.
Okay, when you get a chance to go, that's the General Assembly Network. It will tell you about the page programs, the governor's pages, some of the activities. You will learn the state bird, what the squirrel represents, the mammals, and all that. It's really educational.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you a lot.
All right.
Well, I guess we'll be back.
Okay, we
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you.
All right.
Members of the North Carolina ACTE got a chance to see our North Carolina legislature in action. Some of our TV broadcasting students also got a behind-the-scenes look when interviewing one of our state legislators.
There's a book called Mason's Rules. It's a parliamentary kind of rules, which similar to Robert's Rules, but some guy named Mason wrote it, so whatever. Anyway, that's what we follow in House rules. And just like if you're in class, you might have to raise your hand to talk to the teacher. If you look at the desks, you see, this isn't my desk, but you see every desk has a microphone and a little button here. And if you press the button, it light up the speaker's position up there, and he sees that you want to talk. So that's the equivalent of raising your hand to speak. So you might want to push the button, and the speaker would say, for what reason, Representative Sugg, for what reason do you rise? And I'd stand up and I'd say, to speak to the bill, Mr. Speaker, and he'd say, okay, and then you have permission. So all conversation here on the House of the floor is controlled. You cannot, you should not speak officially, and people don't, without permission. And then if a representative over here is saying something, I want to ask him a question, I can stand up and say, Mr. Speaker, and he'll tell that person to stop, would recognize me and say, for what purpose do you rise? Say, to ask the representative from Surrey County a question. And then he would ask the representative from Surrey County, do you yield? And she could either say yes, in which case he'd say, then I ask a question. So every time you talk back and forth, it's not this free-ranging thing. It's controlled through the speaker's position, through the speaker, and it's for a very specific reason so that the conversation doesn't get out of control. And we all follow the rules. So the other things you probably see here are the boards up here. It has everybody's name on it. Again, if you look at every position, there's two buttons here. One says aye for yes, the green button, and the red button says no. And when we take a vote on a bill, you have usually about 10 or 15 seconds to vote. The clerk will open the vote, so it opens the system for voting, and then every representative will either push yes or no. When the speaker says to close the vote, that's at the end of the 10 or 15 seconds, depending on what kind of bill we're voting on. Tell the clerk to close the vote and record the vote. And next to everybody's name there's a little green light and a little red light. And depending on how you vote, it'll either come up green for yes or red for no. And in the big screen in the middle, it'll show what the count is for ayes and noes, so that everybody here on the floor and anybody in the gallery watching will know how the vote went, whether it passed or didn't. So that's something else that you see here. What else? Well, any questions? I mean, this isn't like, yeah.
Who records how you voted?
It's done all electronically now, and that's the clerk's jobs up here, that the chief clerk and her deputy clerks record that. They maintain the system. And that's a very good question. For some reason, if I have to be excused from a vote because of whatever, if I'm not going to be here, then I check in with the clerk on the end and tell them I'm not going to be here because I have a meeting with the governor or whatever the case is. So when you look at a voting record of any representative, you'll see if they voted yes or no, or if they were excused, or if they were absent. I mean, sometimes people just don't want to vote on a particular issue for a particular reason, and they do what's known as taking a walk, and they get up and they leave the chamber, so they're not here for the vote. And I told everybody in my district when I got elected that I would not do that, that they might not agree with all my votes, but I will not take a walk. If I'm physically here, I'll vote yes or no, and if you don't like my vote, that's fine, but you'll know where I stand on whatever issue it is. So, well, everybody has, like, this is Tim Moore's desk right here. This is his little piece of the universe, so he can do whatever he wants to here. He's Republican. He's got an elephant. There's a lot of elephants in here. I'll take you back and show you my desk, and you can kind of do whatever you want to as long as it's tasteful. Yeah, you've got, they're mostly elephants. That might be a bear, wolf, I don't know. Starflake, snowflake, who knows? Yeah, it's just, you can kind of personalize your area how you want. A bill on whatever it is, it will show up on your screen. Oh. So you can actually read the bill, and we're not dealing with reams and reams of paper. Right. And which is really handy because as you probably know, because I've said this and I do, I read every bill before I vote for it, but sometimes things are amended at the last minute. So if a member, if I have an amendment to a bill that I want to offer, I'll push the button and say, send forth an amendment. And I would have given it to the clerk, and it'll be scanned in, and it'll show up on the screen. So everybody sees all the words exactly as the amendment is at one time. So, and it really is good. They only started this 2 or 3 years ago, and it saved, I don't know, $100,000 in paper and all kinds of things. So
that's good.
But it's much more efficient because walk and crouch down next to them and talk to them. That's the easiest thing to do. And sometimes it looks a little confusing. It's like, what are all these people doing down there? They're walking around, they're talking, and they're cutting up. Yeah. There's a couple things going on there. Sometimes I might have an issue to go over to talk to somebody on that side. So I'll just get up and go talk. You have to be able to multitask for sure. So you can always listen because everything's amplified through the system, and the acoustics in here are pretty good. So that's one thing that's going on. Or I might know what somebody's going to say. For example, in the budget discussions, one side was for the budget, and the other side was against the budget. So you might have 10 or 15 people queued up to speak on it, and you already know what everybody's going to say. So it's exactly. A lot of what gets said in here is for the record. It's kind of, sometimes it's a little like that Japanese kabuki theater, you know, where they have the masks, the style. I'm happy, or I'm sad, or I'm angry. Some of what goes on in here is that, unfortunately. And sometimes nature calls. You got to get up, leave the chamber. You know, they have water in the back. You know, whatever.
I would like to ask a couple questions, if you don't mind. Why is making legislative visits and contacting representatives important for the future of career technical education?
I should have you answer that question. Why is it? I mean, I would think that coming up here and talking to your legislators would be important so you can see what's going on, because the laws here in the state affect your life. Do you agree?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And how has the members of the General Assembly and representatives supported career technical education in the past?
Well, I think we've done a great job of that because we've, last year about this time, we passed into law the law that said now you don't have to take a lot of college prep. There was only one track for high school diploma, was college prep. Well, now we've got that, vocational, or a combination of the two. So it really allows you and the rest of the students out there to pursue their interests and their desires rather than being forced into a track which they might not want to be in.
Okay, thank you.
North Carolina Association for Career and Technical Education is the voice of CTE educators, teachers, and business representatives for the advancement of CTE in North Carolina public schools. We recently spoke with a North Carolina representative about the importance of academies in Cumberland County and across the state.
How are you doing? Good. Hello, I'm Donovan, and I am a part of the CTE Academy, and I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions.
All right.
Would that be fine with you?
That's absolutely good.
Well, first of all, I wanted to ask you, what are your feelings about the CTE Academy in Cumberland County?
I think it's a very important part of what the school does, not only at the high school level, but also at the community college. I think it's very important that we have technical and vocational training for students.
All right, and the second question is, what are your goals as the educator from the Cumberland County school system that, oh no, wrong question. I'm sorry. What other messages are you bringing to the General Assembly about the career technical education?
Well, I'm talking to senators and also House members about how important the program is to not only the state but our local community, and I'm also talking to people on the Education Committee, which is Senator Tillman and Senator Suchek, and letting them know it's very important that we need to fund those. I've also seen a lot of results. I've gone to some of the graduations. I've worked with the schools, and I know how important it is. I see not only how much the parents are appreciative of the program, but students and how excited they are about when they get their certificates. So it's very good.
Again, thank you for your time. That's all we have.
All right, y'all take care. Good to see you. Appreciate it.
One of the purposes of the NCACTE policy seminar was to provide current information to our state legislators about how career and technical education is thriving here in North Carolina. Let's take a look at the Cumberland County delegation in action.
It's not. He'll be here about 1:30.
Okay, well, we've got some stuff we want to leave with you. If you would just let him know that we came.
I will.
We just want to say thank you to him for supporting career and technical education. He's a good friend of all of us, and so we just wanted to make sure that we came by and speak to him. Thank you, ma'am.
An example of a North Carolina fact about career and technical education which the state legislators learned was in 2013, CTE students earned over 104,000 industry-recognized credentials, such as Certified Nursing Assistant. We spoke with one of these students to find out more.
What school are you from?
I'm from North Carolina High School in South Carolina, North Carolina.
Okay. What programs do you hold for that school?
Well, I was in health science program and I was in the nursing fundamentals program.
Okay. What potentials did you have in that school?
Well, I mean, we just work hard and get our work done and help each other out. Very supportive. We support everybody. And we just push each other to work hard.
And so, out of all that, what would you want that to become out of you?
Just a better person, help people, continue to push others, to help others.
Your future goals?
Well, I was in the nursing program, but I actually want to be a physical therapist or athletic trainer. But I guess nursing was kind of my backup.
And what is your plans for next year?
Next year, I'm going to be going to Winston-Salem State, and I'm going to go into the physical therapy program.
What's your certification for?
CNA.
Yeah. Well, how did CTE class help you get to CNA?
Well, actually, they pushed us to take the class. I mean, they came and asked people if they want to take the class, and I guess I was one of the ones that was interested. And I know they're going to have a hard time picking people next year because it's a lot of people that want to be in the CTE program. And they have a good number of people, and it's going to be hard to pick them.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think that's all we have to ask you. And thank you for answering this question.
Thank you.
All right.
Looks like they didn't necessarily know what you were going to be doing, but we can. That's the bottom line.
Well, I know I made sure I got in there because I know.
I just have 2 questions for you. And first of all, I would just like to know what made you come here today to support the Career Technical Education program?
Well, I came here today to support because I think it's very important in our schools. You know, I think that not every student is going to go to a 4-year university and go ahead and get a bachelor's degree. Sometimes they want to do other things. They want to go into the agricultural field. They want to go in to maybe be a cosmetologist or you know, actually be a plumber or do a variety of things that we need on a daily basis. And I think that students need to be supported in that area.
Okay, and as an administrator, what do you think makes it so important to students of Cumberland County?
Why is it important? To students? I think it's important because it gives them a different avenue of what they can do in life. You know, other than the same old typical, go down this road and you'll be okay. Not necessarily have to do that anymore when you have a different variety of things that you can do and gives them options. And if you have options, you can create things and options and make your life better that way.
Okay, thank you for answering those few brief questions.
You've just heard through some interviews with a high school principal in Cumberland County, as well as a career and technical education student who's certified in nursing, on how career and technical education works. Here's some more facts. Over 808,000 students are enrolled in CTE classes in North Carolina, and over 48,000 students participate in CTE student organizations. We wanted to share this news with our state legislators. Let's find out more from one of them on how he believes CTE is important.
Okay, so my name is Ashley Mitchell from Douglasford High School here with the broadcasting program. I'm here to ask you one question. Why is CTE important?
Why is what?
CTE important.
What is the definition of CTE?
Career and technical education.
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question. It's very important. I'm from a technical background myself. I have a landscaping company, but I think more and more today we're losing touch with technical training. And I think it's very important not only in the high schools but in the community colleges that we do more and more technical training. It's very important.
Thank you. And how do you guys support it?
How do we support it? Well, not only through me banging the drum and blowing the horn every time I go into an education committee meeting, but also by trying to talk to other senators and House members to get more funding for that.
All right, thank you so much.
Ma'am.
In 2013, 80.4% of North Carolina students graduated from public high schools. But when these same students completed a 4-credit CTE pathway, the graduation rate increased to 93.7%.
And as a high school graduate of a career pathway, I recently received my college and career ready certificates on my diploma. Letters are supporting career technical education.
You've just seen highlights from this year's North Carolina Association for Career and Technical Education Raleigh Legislative Policy Seminar, where we visited our state representatives and showed them the importance of career and technical education in today's high schools. We want to thank Chip Lugas, who organized this year's policy seminar. We also demonstrated how CTE has developed strong career and business community partnerships, particularly with our community college.
Thank you to him for supporting career and technical education. He's a good friend of all of us, and so we just wanted to make sure that we came all with.
We provided them with important North Carolina facts on CTE.
Well, I will pass this along, and then we've had at least one other person provide
You have
this
wonderful.
information.
One,
so I
we just want to
appreciate
make sure students that are doing a concentration with CTE courses graduate at that rate. If you flip over to the back, the state average is right around 80%. So you can see that CTE keeps a lot of folks in school. And
the success of this NCACTE Raleigh Legislative Policy Seminar greatly influences the level of support that our state legislature will give to career and technical education here in North Carolina. Participation in this seminar can make a difference. Learning that works for America, CTE.